the hot conversation which is going on is about the voter turnout. The numbers we have as of 5 p.m. are frankly a little dismal. One expects that Mumbai, financial capital, will come out in greater numbers. Why do you think we are seeing this time and again, despite so many efforts from the Election Commission? What can be done to get Mumbaikars out and vote?
Amanna, I apologize for not being with you in person. It's been a grueling campaign for me personally. It's very in a strange campaign in a way that I've not been campaigning for myself or a member of my family for 45 years. We've been consecutively on the ballot for 11 Lok Sabha elections from South Mumbai. And so therefore I'm doing it from home, not joining you in person. I apologize for that. You know, the figures are not yet out in terms of how Mumbai has voted. The data is being updated by the Election Commission of India. To me, the turnout as of now, based on prima facie data, is not. It doesn't look like it would reach the percentage that we saw in 2019. Now, what does that mean? In my opinion, a lower voter turnout means it's a pro-incumbency vote. It means the opposition, there was no real reason for voters to come out and vote against a particular government and against Prime Minister Modi's leadership. But all these are things which the poll pundits will decipher in the days and weeks to come. To me, if Mumbai reaches or crosses 50% when the final data is out, I think that's still a good thing. But should we aspire to reach 60%, 70%, go to a higher figure as we see in rural parts of India? Absolutely. Why does that not happen? You know, honestly, it's $1 million question, because in a city like Mumbai, as compared to a rural area, the booth is very close to you. It's an urban area. It's a densely packed city. You literally have to walk down a few blocks and you can reach and you can access your booth. But urban issues are also different from rural issues, and that comes to the core of it. If you look at India, traditionally rural voters come out in much larger numbers than urban voters. And when you look at urban voters, those from the higher economic strata come out in even lower numbers. So there is a direct correlation between
Milind, I have a theory.
What you need.
I have a theory, Milind. Milind, I have a theory. May I share it and then you tell me what you think? I think somewhere or the other, apart from the fact that Mumbaikars feel so overworked, they take the opportunity of every holiday, etc., apathy, all of that is there. But somewhere or the other, do you think urban voters and those in Mumbai feel that what's the point of me voting when my netas are not talking to me? I am not a vote bank. The salaried middle class Mumbaikar / urban Indian nobody is vote bank.
I wouldn't say that.
Did anyone in this election talk about pollution, transport, the hassle of everyday commute and living in Mumbai? Just a theory here. Okay, so the theory, here's how I would respond to that. Firstly, in India, the percentage of Indians who live in cities as compared to those who live in villages is about a third of Indians live in cities. You look at China, for instance, it's a highly urbanized economy. 2/3 of China lives in cities as compared to rural areas. India is urbanizing rapidly. I would certainly agree, and as this is something in fact, in one of my interventions in Parliament back in 2004, 20 years ago, said that there is a rural bias, which is good. We need to protect farmer interests. We need to protect the rural economy, strengthen it. But over time, Tamanna, there's no doubt that urban issues are beginning to get equal prominence as compared to rural issues. But there is also, as I was saying, that there is a direct correlation between economic strata and voter turnout. So there is a correlation between the fact that those who are better, who are sort of who are more privileged, the turnout in those areas is usually much, much lower. The underprivileged, certainly in rural areas or in urban areas, come out and vote in much larger numbers. And that is something we should change. There's no doubt about it. In fact, I would many times when I was, even during this election and every election before this, I always tell voters, of course, when I'm campaigning for my party or for myself or for a candidate that I'm working for. But I always end by saying, please come out and vote. Voting is your
it's your right. It's also your duty. But how do we change this apathy? Honestly, Election Commission has implemented various systems. The one encouraging factor is that in 2014, the voter turnout in Mumbai crossed 50%. Prior to that, the turnout in Mumbai used to be below 50%. And so there was a substantial jump in 2014, which was maintained in 2019. We will know in a few hours whether that we've reached the same level in 2024 or not. But there was a substantive jump, more awareness among voters, a younger population who are more aware of issues about politics, and that saw an almost 10% increase in Mumbai's turnout. Can we jump from 55% on average to 65% in a city like Mumbai? I would be the first one to be very, very happy if that happens. But it will take a lot of effort. It will take a lot of effort from politicians.
I have a political question before we conclude.
Sure,
this is Radhika here, and I met you today at the polling booth right after you cast your vote. And I want to ask you once again this question. You know, you have been contesting from South Bombay. Your family, Deoras, had been contesting for the longest time, for 40 years. But this time you were voting, you were not contesting. How does that feel? And also considering, at least this is what political analysts feel, that there is a sympathy factor for Sharad Pawar as well as Uddhav Thackeray. And therefore Congress within MVA may benefit as a result. So do you think you sort of jumped guns when it came to jumping ships? You know, because this is what several feel, that this could be advantage MVA, at least many observers feel that. What do you have to say?
Look, I think that the voter of Mumbai, of Maharashtra, of India, beyond a point is not really concerned about people are concerned about issues that affect them, not issues that affect one particular family that runs a particular party. And so ultimately, I think the voters of Mumbai, Maharashtra, and India are aware of what India has achieved in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years under the Prime Minister's leadership. And in that sense, I would certainly endorse the view that there is pro-incumbency, number one. Number two, to answer your first question, how did it feel to not be a candidate or not have a Deora on the ballot for the first time in 11 Lok Sabha elections in South Mumbai? I must admit, it felt strange. It felt emotional. My body clock was almost telling me that it's time to fight an election and it's time to go through that grueling process of being a candidate yourself, not campaigning for somebody else. But the good news is Milind Deora is in the Rajya Sabha. My Janma Bhumi, my Karma Bhumi is South Mumbai, as I've been saying throughout this campaign. Although a Rajya Sabha MP represents all of Maharashtra, certainly my focus will be South Mumbai, and certainly I'll have a soft corner for the people of South Mumbai and do my level best to represent them. So I don't think South Mumbai they will continue to access me, will continue to be able to utilize whatever I bring to the table. I will continue to serve the constituency and the people of the constituency, cutting across economic strata, cutting across the entire diversity of the constituency to the best of my abilities. But certainly it feels strange. 11 elections in a row over 44 years is a long time. It's pretty much my entire lifetime. I'm 47 years of age. Throughout my life, I've been seeing Lok Sabha election after Lok Sabha election after Lok Sabha election. And in that sense, maybe, it was a little break for me and perhaps for the voters also. But I will continue to work as a Rajya Sabha MP in the same way as I was working as a South Mumbai MP, whether I was in power, whether my party was in power, or whether my party was out of power. South Mumbai, as I said, is where I live. It's where I was born. What happens in South Mumbai affects me as a citizen. So therefore, I have a stake in this constituency.